So, hi, Woman Guys Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with.
I'm Little Toe.
And I'm Big Toe, and we're from Hot Mill.
And we have some questions today about the upcoming album Corporation P.O.P. So, congrats on that, by the way. How do you guys feel about the response to the announcement so far?
It's been cool.
Yeah, it just feels really quick for us because we only finished it in like
End of January,
and then it's
God
like,
damn.
no, yeah, so it's really quick and fast and not much time to prepare, I suppose. But yeah, buzzing.
Hell yeah. The album fucking rips.
Yeah, album's immaculate.
Thanks, guys.
Have you heard the whole thing?
We heard the whole thing.
Of course.
Oh, hell yeah. What's your favourite?
Don't ask me that. Oh my goodness.
How dare you
I've listened
put
to
me
the
on the
whole thing. I need more time.
My job is to put you on the spot. Why are you
God
putting me
damn
on the
it.
spot?
Give me a second.
I've been asked questions.
Oh my god, I hate when this is turned on me. Because it's like, guys, I've only listened to it like twice.
Okay.
Okay.
The turns of table. This is what we have to do, right? We have
This
to
is what
fight
you have
back
to
against
do.
these.
Oh my god.
So, I liked
alright.
the opening track. I also liked the most recent single, Swallow This.
Okay, fair. Okay,
The
opening track
American
is interesting.
Machine.
Yeah, it's a
Hell
bit
yeah.
my
Mhm.
anti-American, my American diss track. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
Think you're gonna
I
get
mean,
in trouble for
deserved. What happened?
Do you think I'm gonna get in trouble for that? Do you think people are gonna like be angry at me?
I think in this moment in time, people are going to be like, hell yeah. I think you're good.
Yeah, because obviously I'm taking a bulletproof vest to America with me just in case.
We've got a US diss track and we've got a UK one as well. So like,
I'm just basically shitting on all the Western world throughout the whole thing.
Who's next,
no,
honestly?
Well, I think that we know who the worst ones are, and it's probably you sometimes got to look closer to home. But it's okay to I think hold to account the people that you know that are closest to you, and you know we're all English speakers, and we all kind of are related together, and you know it affects everybody. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, I'm curious about the timeline for the record since you mentioned it was finished in January. When did you guys kind of start writing it? Timeline, rough.
it took like 3 weeks in October, right?
yeah, it feels more spread out, but yeah, it was 3 weeks in October to get all of the instrumentation done, and then we had 2 weeks in December to get all the drums and all the vocals written and tracked.
Yeah, we were working Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, weren't we?
Yeah, and then we had to go back after New Year, and it was brutal. We've never ever had to come up with so many melodies and so many words. Yeah.
it
We were
was
just like singing stuff, and it was like, "Is that good?" It's like, don't know, but it's going down now.
Yeah, it's run its course. But yeah, we were so we did the bulk of the album in LA, and then we came home and did all the vocals and the drums at home, and we did the drums in a studio called Treehouse in Sheffield.
Yeah.
We ended up doing some vocals there as well, just because it sounded really good. But it was about like a 2.5 hour there, 2.5 hours back every single day.
And then we got some strings done by a guy I know in the UK, which he recorded at home. We did some gang vocals in my living room. With like a bunch of friends, and then basically me and Will Carlson, who mixed the record, who lives in Ohio, were like waking up at stupid o'clock, both of us, and just sitting there being like, that snare doesn't work, that doesn't work, that's cool, turn that up. And it was brutal.
It was a very finicky record, lots of little bits. Like we had this like whole JFK speech in American Machine in the interlude, which we couldn't get past because it's not public domain yet. I think it's like a couple of years time it would be public domain, so we were like, shit.
We got our manager to do it.
Well, what I ended up doing is just rehashing the gist of what he'd said and getting our manager to kind of read it out, and our manager did like 14 takes of it, and we were just like, oh my god, some of these aren't good because he's not a voice actor, he's just an American man. So we got him to do that, and just we couldn't get this other sample approved, so I had to do it and put on a different voice.
I think we handed it in the evening of when we had to have the absolute
latest
limit. We were like, here you go. And then like 2 weeks later the first single came out.
Oh yeah, and the album artwork, they were like, what are you doing for the album artwork? And I was like, I've not thought about that.
Shit, I just turned the album in.
So I was just like, what if we just, because obviously it's kind of like a homegrown record, we're looking about our immediate surroundings and also further afield, but really mainly from our point of view in Salford, in Manchester. What if it was the back of your house, your bin on fire with an England flag inside it? And then you went, yep, cool. And I went, okay, done.
So I went into my backyard, literally took a video of what it looked like, and then sent it to the designer. I was like, put a bin in here.
Do something with this.
Yeah, this is all I've got, and we've got 2 days to turn this round.
Yeah,
So.
he managed to do it. It was great. He managed to do it overnight, sent it me, and it was like, oh, sick, this is so cool. He's really talented. He did like a I Just Want to Know that cover as well. And then we put it up. We're really proud of it. And then someone on Twitter goes, "This is AI generated." I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Oh
After
my
going through
God.
all of that, and yours,
Yeah.
I was like, "That's fucking rude, man."
That's a
So
lazy comment.
lazy
Yeah.
comment. So I just
Yeah.
went back and went, like, shut up. No, it's not. Here's the artist. Like, why do you always have to assume the worst in people, man? I'm not that stupid.
Yeah.
You
Come
know what I
on,
mean?
man. Yeah.
Exactly. But
Damn.
anyway, there we go. That's the album.
That's the album.
What a
in
time!
it.
That
If you
was
over-
no more questions. That's it. We're good. You summed it up.
Oh my God. Before we move on, I'm so happy that you mentioned like the strings and just kind of the how many different elements were added into the record, even though it was moving at such a fast pace. Because personally, listening through this record, it felt like just such a bigger project while listening to it. It felt almost theatrical at moments, just big. And it was fucking incredible. It felt like you guys took multiple steps forward, and I would never have guessed that it was done in such a condensed amount of time. That's incredible. It's very impressive.
I think we had the vision of what we wanted to do. And I think we say it was done really quickly, but I think sometimes you do a lot of work subconsciously
Mhm.
before you actually put the paper. And I think we kind of knew what we wanted to do. And so when we were doing it, the energy was already there.
The first thing we did when we arrived at the studio, we got a big old whiteboard and just tracked out how we wanted the album to move, like what vibe each song had, you know,
the journey of which it would take.
Yeah, and then just wrote it from front to back.
Yeah, we just
tackled it like
one at a time.
Chronologically.
Yeah, so start like when you write a book, you know, you start at the beginning and end at the end, and that's how we wrote the album. We didn't want to write there and there and there and there, just went through.
And I think because of that, it was less like stabs in the dark. It was more focused, and we had more time to explore with sounds and soundscape and design and stuff like that. So I think because that we knew what we were looking for, we were able to kind of like try all these random, like you know those little Kirby things that that goes like wah, wah, wah.
There's one of them on there.
There's one of them in the record. We
That's
tried so
wonderful.
Yeah, but with this whole record as well, we wanted to make it as analog as possible.
Yeah.
So we used a lot of like old like 80s, 90s Russian synths on it, and we used so many different like live amps, drum machines, we really wanted to step away from like a DI'd guitar and like splice and things like that. Wanted to step away from that, like totally.
We wanted the album to have character and also have like its own sound, not something that's been created by someone else and kind
rehashed
of like
a million times.
Exactly. Really give each sound a bit of thought into like how can we make this the most perfect sound for this record.
Yeah, and then played with structure of songs as well. We were like, let's just, maybe this doesn't have to have a chorus, or maybe this doesn't have to have going back to a verse. Maybe it's just a piece of music that lasts for
that flows from one thing to another. Yeah.
So just what felt right, and let's not feel constrained. And I think we on this record felt like we didn't give a shit what anyone thought about us at all, because we knew we have our fans and we have our people.
Way more free in that.
It's way more freeing if you just kind of think like, this is for us.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Great. It's wonderful. And would you guys be able to tell us a little bit about your writing process for the record? I know you guys kind of went into it a little bit, but we'd love to get a little bit more in detail if possible.
It's really difficult because
like Tom's dad goes, how do you write a song?
Yeah, it was very much so we had Zach and KJ who we were working with in LA. We had their studio, and then we had like an Airbnb like 20 minutes away that we had like a small setup, and we'd start the day, wake up, get a coffee, get in the car, listen to what we'd done the previous day.
Okay.
Chat
on the journey.
Yeah, chat about that, maybe like hum some
get stuck in traffic for
ages.
Obviously.
Nice. Hum some like ideas over the top, and
I was like always voice noting on the way, like what about this, what about this,
and then we kind of bank that idea, and then we'd arrive at the studio and kind of go into a new idea. So KJ maybe written a riff, or we'd come up with one the night before, or like there was some sounds kind of like floating around, and then we'd all kind of sit and ponder over that for a bit. And then it was literally just like a race. It just felt like it was just the four of us like sitting there, like insular almost, and then coming together and then going back, and it was just kind of this like
we spent a lot of time like
patchwork.
separately, and then we come back to the room like, hey, I've written this, like, does this work with what you're writing right now? And like we
no,
kind of
not quite.
exchange,
That does.
that sounds cool, we'll take that bit. I'd like come away from writing a whole bunch of lyrics and come into the room and they'd written something and I'd be like, I don't like that. and they go, oh, and I go, well, start again. I guess like
give it another one.
Take from the top.
Do it again.
It was a bit of a slow start because obviously we've written together for the entire period we've been a band, but we've never written with these guys. So they were trying stuff out and we were like, oh, that's not quite right. And then we'd be like, oh, that is though. So, and then that would kind of spark them to get on. So yeah, it was maybe
took
like
them a while to kind of discover what we were trying to get out of the process as well. And I think the idea of working with other people was to kind of challenge ourselves as well, because we can get too caught up in a room on our own sometimes and
get stuck, you know, like
in our own heads. And I think the idea of working with those two was that they could snap us out of that, especially considering the time constraint we had.
So then it kind of turned into like, I think what it was the way you describe it is we drew the picture, we like outlined it all, like the whole album, and then we came back
and colored it in. Yeah.
So that was kind of like, get the song bases sort of there, and then go back and work out the productions, the nuances, which was cool. And then writing lyrics was just me and you fighting each other for 2 weeks.
Aww, that's wonderful.
Love it. Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So what song off the album took longest to write, and which one is each your own personal favorites?
Sunburn from Your Bible was the hardest one to write, was it not? It was for me.
It was Sympathy Symphony, because I was trying to show you what I meant and you weren't getting it and you didn't like it, and then it clicked. And then
maybe I know, I feel like lyrically that one came really quick for me. Because Sympathy Symphony, I feel like that was easy to write because it was so like, but with Sunburn from Your Bible, because it was kind of about anti-religious imperialism, I had to be really careful. Do you know what I mean? I didn't want to be like too offensive, but at the same time, I wanted to be like, this ain't cool, guys. Like, you know, I tried to be more literate with it and a little bit more intelligent with it. So that one was really difficult for me.
The one I found hardest was, from a production point of view, was Warehouse Salvation, because it was quite hard to get the nuance between the live element of it and the electronic element of it. And it was almost like fighting when the live drums came in over like the percussion and the synth and stuff like that. So it was working out a way to kind of like
marry the two
and let each bit have a moment. So that took like a good, I think we were on like mix 15 or 20 or something like that. It was a lot of back and forth.
It took a long time to mix that song. It should never take 20 mixes to mix a song. It should be maybe like five,
that was a real tough
mainly.
one.
But yeah, that was difficult because it's a kind of different song for us.
It's uncharted as well, because you can't. I couldn't really send over stuff and be like, this is what I want it to sound like, because I'd send over like, I don't know, like a club song and then a rock song, and he was like, yeah, I understand both of these, but how do I put them together? And I'm like,
You're like, I have it in my brain, I just need to plug my brain into the system and do it for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And would you guys be able to tell us where your headspace is at while you're creating this record?
Burnt out, probably.
Yeah, we were so burnt
before we'd even got there. I think because we'd been on tour for so long last year, and then we also had another tour after the record was like supposed to be handed in and stuff. It was like we had like this one time to write a record.
Spot. Yeah.
And so I don't know. We were, I kind of fell out of LA, like out of love with LA, really, during this period. I'd been in LA for quite a lot that year. I'd kind of like moved there for a couple of months, which was a bad idea. It's not too bad an idea. I love the people, just the city to me is just like
a bit much.
Much. Like just so long. I like to walk around, and I couldn't walk anywhere. And there was a shooting at the Target I was living next to, and I was like, "This is bollocks. Like this is crap."
That doesn't happen in Salford.
That doesn't happen in Salford. I've had knives pulled on me in Salford, but you just go, just pack it in. What are you doing, you stupid?
Chill. Yeah. Insane.
I can deal with the dickheads in Salford because I'm a dickhead. You know what I mean? I can just like stop I can't. What am I going to do with some like nut of a gun in the middle of bloody Culver City? You know, I'm like, this isn't my hood. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This isn't my food.
You can't
It's
tell
not
them to
my-
just pack it in. They'll just shoot you.
No, they'll be like, what do you mean? Bang.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I need to go back where the streets are my streets, you know.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, Headspace, like, yeah, we kind of we're not arguing that much, were we? We argued a little bit.
I think we were just really tired.
It felt like every day was like monotonous. It was the same shit every day. And we had a bit of routine. We'd go to this one coffee shop and get the same smoked salmon bagel. And then we'd go to the studio and then we'd order the same Deliveroo or whatever.
I think we were finding it hard to get excited about anything just because it was such a finite amount of time that just very conscious of like, we just have to keep this moving. If it's good, great. If it's not, we're fucked. Like we've got to just go.
There was kind of like loss of confidence, I think, for me. I didn't feel that confident.
Maybe a bit of disconnection at the time as well.
Yeah, I just felt like I'm shit. I'm shit. Like we're shit. I was just like, is this even good? I don't even know.
It's really hard when you're trying to do something in such close quarters with the same people and with a time limit. It curbs creativity because you're like, well, I haven't got time to explore this any further because I should be on the next song by, the way the dates are shaping out. So,
but I think we work well under pressure.
We always have. It's just not fun.
We just lock in and we're like, well, we have to do the best we can for not only us, but the people that care about our band. So,
yeah.
And we have something to say. We have something that we want to shout about. So let's just try and make sure that we say it and give it enough due diligence.
Absolutely. What are you guys feeling going into the album release? It's a few months out, but like, is it anxiety, excitement, nervousness? What are you feeling?
Definitely
nervousness. Yeah, 100%. Like, I don't know if, you've got the song that, popped off on A Call to the Void was like Breathing Underwater, and it's quite a quite straightforward song in a way. Like, it's very direct. It's quite, easy to digest. And I think with this album, there's a lot more kind of niche elements in there that might not appeal to a more mainstream audience.
Yeah, it's delivered more as an album rather than individual tracks.
Yeah, because it is an album. Do people listen to whole albums these days? But I think for us, we just want. I know you, because you're a good music fan. You're a good person. Like believes in like what we're trying to do, and what I think most of our friends do too.
Yeah.
But you think about people outside of that. It does make you worry that like have
people get it.
People going to get it, and that's all okay. I think most bands feel like that, but I don't know. We'll see. Like, I'm a big believer in just like you do your best and let fate do the rest. If it's meant to be, then great. If not, then I did everything I could. So yeah,
exactly.
Gotcha. Hell yeah. So how do you guys recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? If you're doing the car with friends in the dark with headphones on, his workout album, party album, what do you guys personally recommend?
I think it's got to be on your own, maybe first. What do you reckon? I think because there's some elements there that you need to listen to.
A lot of our runner mates are saying like we've created the perfect album for running. If you want to go like pedal to the metal, just fucking leg it.
Yeah.
Probably the first two singles. I think Swallow This and 90 Seconds. They're both quite
upbeat, fast paced. Yeah,
exactly. And I think even American Machine, I think that's probably going to be a single as well, and that's still quite balls to the wall. Yeah, I think England as well is another pumping song. So I think we've chosen all the pumpers for like the singles. Which is funny because there are obviously like quite a lot of other tracks on this album that aren't as pumping. But I think, maybe very, very loud on a very good speaker that's got lots of low end, I think is advisable. I think if you miss the low end out of this album, you'll be very confused.
Yeah.
Just a bit.
All right.
Yeah. All right. And this one should be super, super quick off the top of your heads. I want you guys to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. 3 words each, 6 total, no more, no less.
All I can see is breakfast in bed.
Because we're in a hotel.
In a hotel.
Pitch. Yeah.
Not breakfast
It's
in
definitely
bed.
not breakfast in bed.
It's definitely political in its nature. I would say that it is chaotic at times, but I would also say that it's reflective because there's moments of reprieve in there, and there's moments to breathe, and there's moments to think about the morning after the night before.
Yeah. I think visceral. There's a lot of like well, the other word I was going to use as well, raw. There's a lot of kind of like, I don't know, analog to it. It just feels very warm and real as opposed to kind of like clinical. And we've been down that route before, and we wanted to really get across this live element. So visceral, raw, and I think is there a word where it's serious but fun at the same time?
Positively nihilistic.
That's two words.
Or hyphenation.
Hyphen.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Hyphen,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
one
We'll,
word
we'll
now.
let it go. We'll let it go.
yeah, because there's some lyrics that are very tongue in cheek, inspired by bands like Soft Play and
like No Effects.
yeah,
Stuff
like
yeah.
just trying to lighten
There's
some
a lot
of
of
some of the topics that
there's
are
a lot
bit
of like Sex
heavy.
Pistols on this record. A lot of Sex
Yeah.
Pistols. And
Yeah.
kind of like God Save the Queen, like fuck off, like just kind of purposely agitating,
Yeah.
but in a like a tongue-in-cheek
light-hearted way.
Like it's kind of like poking people, but being like, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. Yeah, yeah.
It's being really annoying, basically. It's really
awesome.
annoying.
That's great.
Yeah.
So can you guys talk about any particularly challenging or standout moments during the creation of this album, positive or negative?
I can tell you a challenging one is playing these fucking songs live. My God.
Written really hard.
We are struggling. We're currently opening with 90 seconds, and it's just all of us like this.
Locked
Minutes.
in.
It's like, don't move, don't look at anyone in the eye, just fucking go.
Yeah. No, I think we're getting there with it. Like that song now has got a bit more like
we can breathe a little more.
Yeah, you can nod your head a little bit now.
Yeah.
Exactly. What Swallow This is
really
it
hard.
doesn't stop. It does not stop. It's there for 4 minutes 23 or something of just no.
My wrist by the end of it, I'm like, oh.
Yeah. So I think we wrote like kind of quite difficult parts, and then
yeah, we've really challenged ourselves.
musically. Yeah. I think that's a positive challenge, I suppose, depending on the way you look at it.
Absolutely.
Damn straight. Hell yeah. And for these last couple questions, we're actually going to shift away from music if that's okay with you guys.
Sure.
Great. So if you could be one animal for the rest of your life, which animal would you be and why?
I'd like to be a seal.
Oh, hell yeah.
I like seals a lot. I think that
I would be a
the
seal
dogs
because I like seals.
like seals.
And what's wrong with that?
The dogs of the sea, they're like come up like and they're like happy, but then they can be like fuck off and aggressive, and they can be like they're just
playful.
They're playful, but
Awesome.
they're a solid sea animal. I think underrated. A seal's underrated.
I think I'd be my dog.
Concur.
Oh, he's obsessed with his dog.
I love my dog.
He's like, my dog. I miss my dog. Like, not I miss my girlfriend.
No, but my partner, she got me this to take everywhere. So it's my dog's baby teeth.
No
way. That's
I
actually
love
kind of
that.
fucking awesome. Damn.
He's never had a dog before.
No, I've
It's
never
his
had a
first
dog, and she's the best. She's just
Aw.
fucking great. So yeah, I'd be my dog.
I love
That's
that.
wonderful.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So if you guys could have lunch with any celebrity or artist, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Gotta be Freddie, hasn't it? It's gotta be Freddie Mercury. Probably. Yeah, it's gotta be.
No, I don't.
I'd love to. And you don't like people. Yes, you do.
I like people, but I've never had an idol or like someone that because you were, obsessive with people when you were younger.
Well, yeah, I love like front people. Like
Yeah.
I love iconic. Like I always watched stuff from the 70s and 80s, and I love that time, that hair metal time, and like the proper rock and roll, man. Like that is like just such an amazing period of time, because like the way it was shot on film, everything just makes it look so timeless.
Yeah.
And probably to be alive at that time was probably a nightmare, because everyone was like shooting up heroin and like being a paedophile. You know what I mean? So it's probably not actually. But it looks great. And then Freddie, I just think was a man with such massive struggles, and he lived in shame for a lot of it. Huge talent. He took risks himself. Like he put a finger up to the record labels, but like when they wanted to release a fucking like 7-minute long song, and they did it anyway. And I just think he's an amazing guy that I would love to have a chat with.
I think maybe Rick Rubin, just to get inside
He's not dead.
He's not dead now, but just to kind of understand, like, he's not a typical producer in the sense of like he doesn't he's not technically
I don't want to do him a disservice. He comes more from like the feeling rather than
Which is
like
kind of
the
like
technicality. So
yeah.
I just kind of like I'd love to pick apart his head and work out, you know, how he approaches records.
That's like a musical hippie, Rick Rubin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's fascinating. He's done some incredible things. So yeah.
Hell yeah.
Damn straight, good picks. And for this last question, boom, you're on a deserted island. You could bring one movie, one album, and one person. Who and what are you bringing?
One movie. I bring The Filth and the Fury, the Sex Pistols documentary.
Okay.
Okay.
I would bring The Battle of Los Angeles by Rage Against the Machine.
Okay.
And person-wise, I probably just I have to bring my partner, don't I? I'd have to bring Jamie with me.
Yeah, I think that's
I have to, otherwise I get in trouble.
I'd bring my partner because she'd be able to cook and keep me alive. Otherwise, I'd be fucked.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
Album wise, fuck. I don't know if is this island like nice? Is it tranquil? Is it?
I always just picture like just a big ass beach and a couple palm trees, you know?
Okay, maybe something like John Hopkins, something like
it's like Singularity by John Hopkins, like the nice little wavy dancey guy.
Exactly, yeah. Something I could just kind of like, or like there's a guy called Duskus. Like I'm listening to loads of
EDM.
Well, yeah, electronic music at the moment, and it's just a good vibe. Makes me feel happy rather than like, you know, rock's definitely got a place in my heart. But listening to that all day, every day, I just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So I think it's a nice little break. So
as you can tell by Corporation P.O.P, that's how we feel.
I was gonna say
moving between rock and electronic.
Dance. Yeah, exactly.
And movie, I'd probably bring I'd bring The Irishman because I'm still yet to watch it because I don't have 4 hours in my life to sit down and watch this film. So if I'm stuck on an island, fuck it. I've finally got some time to watch this film.
There you go.
But bring in a movie you've never seen before. I was gonna say then you're stuck with a 4 hour long shit movie if you don't like it. That's just insane. That's a crazy gamble.
It is, but you know, life's a gamble. So
it's a gamble that's got to be taken.
You're goddamn right.
I'm on a fucking deserted island. I've already made my gamble.
You're right. Yeah. You got me there. Yeah.
So as Gloria said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you guys would like to plug?
The album we've talked about it for the last
come buy it.
Half an hour.
Buy it quick now. It's selling like hotcakes, and you should get it because it's kind of okay.
Yeah. Come see us live. Come say hello. We're just normal people.
Come see Hot Milk in the flesh. Come see us at Aftershock. Come see us at Louder Than Live. Come see us at Warped Tour.
We're going to be doing some headlines that are unannounced yet.
Yeah, with a really cool band that we like a lot. So, yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, sounds guys. It's been Hot Milk, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.